Welcome to One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly digital program featuring Susquehanna Valley newsmakers interviewed by Daily Item reporters. Today's guest is Times event coordinator Vanessa Venios, interviewed by Daily Item reporter Rick Dandies.
It's cloaked in stunning designer attire, a statement of fashion from every angle, unashamed of its opulence, but nothing you didn't already expect from Lincoln.
Unveil innovation with purpose during the Lincoln Wishlist sales event with the 2018 Lincoln MKZ or the 2018 Lincoln Navigator Reserve L. The feeling stays with you.
Sunbury Motors Lincoln, run by the Mertz family since 1915.
Welcome to another edition of One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly interview program. And today we're talking with Vanessa Venios, who is the event coordinator with a group called Time. And I think a lot of people have heard about that and heard the name. And what exactly is Time? We'll start with that.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here today. So Time stands for the Improve Milton Experience. We are a nonprofit organization in downtown Milton, and we focus on, the revitalization of Milton and then also instilling a sense of pride in the community. And we do that through a variety of different programs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think maybe people can relate to the idea. It sounds a lot like Sunbury's revitalization group.
Mm-hmm.
How did the idea for Time come about, and how long has it been around?
I'm not sure exactly how the idea came about, but I know back in 2004 there was grant funding from the state to do the Main Street program. So Time kind of started off with building off of that. Mm-hmm. And then I think it was 2011, Time kind of branched off and did its own thing. Originally focused on solely downtown, but eventually we wanted to make it more of a community-wide effort to focus on different businesses that aren't necessarily on the two main streets downtown Milton.
Yeah, I noticed that I think the people who drive through Milton a lot, as I do, on my way to work, and really there's been such a difference in the facades. I mean, it's really starting to look different and upbeat, and I know a lot of that has to do with Time. I'm not sure, though. I've been a bit confused about whether is it about bringing businesses in, or is it about helping kids? Because I know you've done a lot of kids programs.
Yes. Well, it's about all of that. We certainly are going to be focusing on, especially in 2019, we would like to see more businesses come into town. We like to support the local businesses that are already there. And we also want to create a community for, people of all ages, and most importantly, the youth. So that's where our programs are so important. It's great to get people out and about and engaged, everything from our Music in the Park program, which has live music every Wednesday in the summer, to, the Milton Model Train Museum is really busy in the wintertime. It's a fun activity to take kids at. So in terms of, like I said, the businesses, we're there to support them and anything they need help with, whether it's with their social media or just a ribbon cutting of some sort, we're there to help.
Were you involved in the Centennial, I guess, last year?
Yes, the Bicentennial. We were very heavily involved in that. Yes. We helped with setting up a variety of different events that happened it was like a week-long celebration. But our main event that we hosted was the first ever Milton Beer Fest. And that was kind of the kickoff to the celebration. That is really popular. As you might suspect. The beer fest was a huge success. That was actually how I came about in joining Time. Was they needed someone to plan the beer fest, and so that was my first project.
Is your background in PR or marketing? Or?
Well, I have a degree in interior design, so I guess you could say my background is in creativity and planning. So yeah.
Okay, so we talked a little about the beer fest. Some of the other things that the Time has already done, and maybe a little later we'll talk about some of your plans for the future.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Oh, okay. So some of the things that Time has already done.
Yeah, let people know.
So Time has established. We have a Veterans Memorial. That is located right next to the Time offices in the Milton Moose. That's a space where we have. It's a tribute to the veterans of the Milton community, or, that people in the community live there that want to pay tribute to the family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't miss it. It's a giant flag downtown. We also have, like I said, the Milton Model Train Museum. It's a great space to take your kids. It's very interactive. There's buttons throughout the whole thing that make certain figurines on the train board move.
Yeah, yeah.
Our Jungle Teen Center is a really great program. It's made for the teens by the teens, and it's set up in that, the teens that are involved there, they run the show. For example, they have a snack bar, and they're in charge of saying how much a candy bar costs, what they're going to sell it for.
Yeah, that's one of the best programs I've seen. I've been downstairs at
it's really, it's really cool. One thing, they raised the prices of candy bars this year. I thought that was a very good executive
very entrepreneurial of them.
Yes, exactly. What else? Like music in the park, which is great. We have that right downtown. What am I missing? There's so many things that we do. Chef's Place is our newest project.
Yeah, I was,
so that is.
Tell people about that.
Yeah,
it's really an amazing. I was there at the opening. The paper
right.
So.
Yes, we kicked it off with a Chef's Place soiree, which was really nice. So Chef's Place came about when we realized that there was a need for expansion in our Jungle Teen Center. We were meeting close to max capacity for the teens on Saturday nights, and we had been contacted by other local teen centers, like, for example, the Donald Heater Community Center.
Yeah.
And they wanted to come and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, we really need to expand this space. So we found a location where you were on the second floor of the Milton Moose, where
the same building where
the Jungle Teen Center is. Yep. And we got thinking later on. It was literally, we were having lunch, a can of Chef Boyardee, and I had mentioned to my dad, who's the executive director of Time. I mentioned to him that it'd be cool if we had a restaurant that served Chef Boyardee as a product, since Chef Boyardee is from Milton. So.
Which some people might not know.
Yeah, some people might not know. Chef Boyardee started his factory.
And one of his relatives was involved.
Yes, right? Yes. So he said, oh, that's easy enough. My teens could do it. And the idea just kind of came off from there. And we thought, wow, there's a kitchen on this floor. Maybe the kids could do more than just a snack bar. And then next thing you know, we were contacted by Penn State Extension in their 4-H program, and they said, we would like to help you actually educate the teens and the community on healthy eating habits and actually cooking meals. And then next thing you know, we have Chef's Places up and running, and we have cooking classes there held by Penn State Extension. We have teens making pizzas and serving. Currently, they're working with the basic Boyardee brand foods, but we also have Chef's Garden across the street, where they're going to be in the springtime learning how to grow vegetables and harvest and create farm-to-table type foods.
Well, what I thought was really cool was that, in a way, it introduces kids to that as a possible job opportunity.
Yes.
Future opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And also running a restaurant, and I must say also the reimagining of the space was quite impressive. The work that was put into to make it look like a really cool place.
Thank you.
So.
I think that's where my interior design background came in handy.
So we'll give you some credit on that one. All right, we're going to take a break now. We'll be right back with Vanessa Venios.
Cloaked in stunning designer attire, a statement of fashion from every angle, unashamed of its opulence, but nothing you didn't already expect from Lincoln.
Unveil innovation with purpose during the Lincoln Wishlist sales event with the 2018 Lincoln MKZ or the 2018 Lincoln Navigator Reserve L. The feeling stays with you.
Sunbury Motors Lincoln, run by the Mertz family since 1915.
Welcome back to One on One. We're talking today with Vanessa Venios, who is the events coordinator with a group called Time, which is revitalizing Milton. And the first part of our interview, we talked about some of the things you've done, pretty substantial things to make Milton look great. But I went to your website before this interview and saw all the things that you're planning. So if you talk a little about what's on your radar for what you'd like to be doing.
So some things that are on our radar for 2019 is we would really like to see our storefronts downtown be filled. And a way to do that, we could do that in a variety of different ways. Like, we have a woman that's on our board that would like to do like a set design of some sort in a vacant window. But we would like to go a step further and host pop-up events Whereas that, for a pop-up event, let's say, for example, we bring in a winery that's out of town or that doesn't have a tasting room yet, we can bring them into a vacant commercial property and pair them up with a couple artists that you'd see or like a farmer's market style setting. And we could do pop-up events in those vacant properties. In addition to that, we are interested in kind of adding some extra pizzazz to our current Music in the Park summer series, possibly making it into a more beer garden style where we can get the local breweries and wineries involved so people can come out, relax, taste some wine, enjoy the music, and enjoy the sunshine.
That sounds pretty appealing.
Yeah. So we're excited about that. I'm trying to think what else. So, Chef's Place will be rolling into a full year of Chef's Place. And we hope to host more cooking classes with Penn State Extension. And also bring in chefs, kind of do another pop-up event at Chef's Place where, for example, we could find a chef in Harrisburg and bring them in, and then they could serve dinner
that's a cool idea.
There, yeah. And it would be more based on like an adult gathering type of dining experience.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. You have a capital campaign going for Chef's Place?
We do. So we are in the process. We'd like to raise $100,000 for Chef's Place. We need that for programming costs. We still are working on building the kitchen itself. We need the utensils, the pots and pans, you name it, and of course keeping it maintained as well. So, and another source that we need to raise money for is Chef's Place is currently not handicap accessible. So we're working really hard on trying to find some grant funding, or hopefully we raise enough in this capital campaign where we can actually get an elevator installed.
So you don't have an elevator?
We don't, and the elevator would be a huge asset to time because the second floor is Chef's Place, where we want to teach the entire community how to cook and to get a better understanding and the education of healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. But then the third floor is our Milton Model Train Museum, and that brings in people of all ages. And as time goes on, some people aren't able to come back just because they're getting older, and it's quite a feat to go up those stairs for a lot of people.
Will Chef's Place be open to the public, or is it mostly now for the kids who run the...
In the future, yes, we hope to see it open to the public.
When I was there, that was my thought. That would be just a really nice tea and coffee place.
Yes. Well, once we get the ball rolling with the capital campaign, like I said, funding for programming and the space, we would love to have it open to the public. And like I said, doing pop-up chef nights where we have a different chef every weekend, or when the Milton Model Train Museum is open, we like to utilize that as a place to stop in and get lunch before you go upstairs to the museum.
Good idea. And I've seen a lot of beautification events. For example, I love the wall murals, bringing in artists from New York City. So
the murals that you see downtown, a large amount of those was done by a woman named Pam Snyder from Altoona. And actually next year marks the 10-year anniversary of those murals. They're the ones that kind of depict the history of Milton. You'll see on like the side of the Calp Agency, and Speedy's, and the Milton Moose Family Center. And then Milton Art, Brace Brown with the Milton Art Bank, he brought in the artists for the Milton Bicentennial. Those artists from New York City did more like abstract style work on the sides of buildings. So given that this coming year is the 10-year anniversary of the murals that Pam did, I don't see why we probably couldn't maybe try to get one more up. I think that'd be neat.
Yeah. I just driven by and seen them actually doing it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention?
Really just, thank you again for having me here. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Okay, well, Time is doing some great things, and I've seen just in the last 10 years amazing change in downtown Milton. A lot of that is owed to your group. Thanks for being here, and thanks for everybody watching.
Thanks for watching One on One. Be sure to turn in next week for another edition.